Hey guys, how you doing? Ronsanut here. Well, today I have a review for you of the Phobya WaCoolT Benchtable. I've been looking around and I looked at my favorite water cooling place online, Performance PCs, and they had this Phobya WaCoolT Benchtable. So I asked them if they would be kind enough to send me one to review, and they came through. So that's what we're going to do here. We'll take a look at this up close. I'll take you through it. And then the best way to find out how well it performs is to see how easy it is to put parts in and out of it. Alright, so the bench table dimensions are 19.5 inches by 8 3/4 inches by 19 3/4 inches. Or for my metric friends, 500 millimeters by 220 millimeters by 500 millimeters basically. You can see it comes only in black, and this is a steel construction. But they also do make an aluminum one. It costs a little bit more, but it has a black semi-gloss powder coat, which is very nice, very durable. It comes pretty much pre-assembled. It has the base here assembled. The only things that come broken down are the fan brackets here and the PCI bracket. The fan brackets, there are two here, and I've assembled them like this. You can take them apart, and you can put this particular one anywhere else you want on there. So it holds 320 millimeter fans, but you can reconfigure this. You can actually have this bracket as the base, and you can have the two fans extend out longer if you wanted to do that. The PCI bracket has got 10 slots, so as you can see, there is a ton of motherboard mountings on here, and that's because this case will handle everything from micro ATX all the way up through extended and XL ATX.
Even SRX.
All of the motherboard mounts are all mounted on there. I believe there's 20 of them, and so you can obviously take off what you don't need. So aside from the standoffs being pre-installed, you also have 11 of these small cable pass-through grommets here, and then also two large pass-throughs for example here, especially for your ATX power, and it might be your PCI Express cables come through as well. The other thing you notice here on the front, on either side of the nice Phobya logo, you also have the couple of holes here, and they are for optional power switches, or the reset switches that you can buy, probably a Lambtron style, that would mount in there. Now many motherboards nowadays have the power buttons on them, and then you can also get a kit, which I'll show you later. I do have kits that I use. But that's a nice touch to be able to put in your own custom lighting lit switches or toggle switches that you might want to put in there. Now on the side of the bench table, it's exactly the same on the other side. You can mount up to a 3x120 radiator, or three 120 millimeter fans, and it also is set up that you can handle up to a 2x140 radiator as well. Now let's take a look at the inside tray. Now one of the things that I really liked about the design of this bench table is that if you remove two screws on either side of the bench table, you can slide out the inside tray. And that's really handy to have. Although I don't have the biggest hands or arms in the world, getting inside of a test bench and moving things around when you need to, or adjusting something, that's a real pain. And so having the capability to slide this out is a really nice feature. Obviously you have to be aware of the cables that are connected coming out through the top, mainly your power cables, but even if you disconnect those, you can slide them out and you're not constantly have to fumble inside of a tight space. And they give you a 5 1/4 inch bay, which you can fit up to 3 5 1/4 inch devices, and then they give you a 3.5 inch bay, which you can fit up to 4 3.5 inch devices. Now let me take the tray all the way out, and we can have a better look and see what's going on the back of it. And we talked about the 5 1/4 inch and the 3.5 inch bays, and the fact that they're removable and adjustable. And then we have back here a mounting for your power supply, and this is really nice and solid and rigid, which is nice. The previous bench that I've been using has a very flimsy one, but that's nice. And then here we have a mounting tray that you can actually mount your pumps to. So one of the things they thought about was a place to mount your pumps when you have radiators installed inside of the bench table. So that's a really nice feature, and I'm sure they're standard screw holes, so if you've got other things that you might want to mount, here's a free-for-all place to be able to do that. And again, you can see here all these various different mounting points, so whatever your heart desires underneath here, you need to mount or adjust, you can slide these any which way you need to. And like I said before, if you're mounting radiators on the inside, you're going to have to do that because you're going to have to move your power supply and give your radiator some space, especially if you've got some of those nice thick ones. All right, well, now that we've had a look around the bench table, the next thing to do is put some parts on it. Okay, so we have a kit assembled in the Phobya WaCoolT bench table. And so let me take you around and show you what we have installed in it now. We've got an air-cooled CPU on a motherboard, a long graphics card, fan mounted on the top, and then below we have here in the 3.5-inch bay the SSD, a USB 3.0 adapter tray. We have a fan controller, an optical drive. We still have space for another 5.25-inch device and two 3.5-inch devices. And then you can see there we have it's a 45mm radiator put in push-pull, and that's 2x120. And then let's take a look at the back. And on the rear and the back we have the power supply mounted in the power supply bracket, and I moved that over to the middle there to make it easy to address the cable to either side up front. Plenty of space available here, so I have some cables tied down and out of the way. And then on this side here I have the pump or reservoir mount here. Some cables coming from the fan control that I haven't put anywhere yet. And then you can see the other end of the radiator there, and then these are the EPS and ATX power cable going to the motherboard over here. So that's how the test rig is currently set up right now. And let me summarize for you what I went through putting that together. Okay, so that's the kit that I installed in this test bench, the Phobya WaCoolT bench table. The motherboard that's on there is an extended ATX motherboard, so that's 12 by 10.5 inches, and that fit on there absolutely no problem. It's kind of looks a little bit tiny on this massive bench, but also the graphics card that's on there, that's 10.5 inches long, and of course, since it's an open bench, really length should not be that big of an issue, especially on this bench. And the CPU coolers that you can put on them, they can be as tall as you need them to be, because you don't have any interior case restrictions that you're dealing with. It's wide open. And then on the inside, on the bottom, you saw that I mounted a power supply back there. That's not a fully modular power supply. So there were some cables coming off, but because of the space in there, I was able to dress them and tie them down nicely and out of the way. I installed 2 out of 3 5.25-inch devices, the optical drive and the fan controller, without any problem. It was very easy to get them to be put into those cages. And also on the 3.5-inch device there, I used 2 of the 4 with an SSD at the top and the USB 3.0 adapter at the bottom. So you know, this guy is outfitted pretty good, and the really nice thing is being able to put a push-pull configuration of a radiator on the inside there. So, you know, things that I didn't like about this case, the screws that come with this are all hex head, but really that's just a nit, you know, and I did replace in assembling the things that I had to take in and out, that I'm going to take in and out, like the drive cages and also the screws that mount the tray in the bottom. I converted them to you know, standard Phillips style, so that you know, again, those are the tools I have laying around all the time and make it easier for me to remove them out. And also on the top of the PCIe Express cage, I replaced those Allen head screws with big thumb screws. So of course I'm going to be using this for a real test bench, and I'll be putting stuff in and out. So breaking out a screwdriver even is going to be a hassle for me. So I try to make it easy as possible, but this bench table has the flexibility to do that. So I really like that. The other things I would have liked to have seen is along the side back here, it would have been nice to have some more grommets, some cable feed-throughs. For example, the EPS power, I had to come right out the back and around over the back of it. It would have been nice if there were a couple of slotted feed-throughs like you have right here along the side. That would have been a nice thing to have. The other thing that's really more of a nit is there's no power switches. They don't come with power switches, but that's because you can customize it. And really all the motherboards nowadays, at least most of the ones that I've been getting and using, already have the power reset switches on the motherboard. So not a big deal, but that would have been a nice to have too. So really mainly minor nits. The big pluses, like I mentioned before, is the size and the flexibility and the space that you have in this case. Having this as wide as it is, even with having to get my hands down in there, it wasn't really a problem. The other thing too that really makes this stand out for me was the ability to be able to slide this bottom tray out. I can't tell you, in the other test bench that I have, that's a real pain. To be able to get in there, I pretty much have to strip a lot of things down, and it's not that easy to get in and out of that one. So it's probably one of the main reasons I don't use it more often as a regular test bench. This one here, that tray slides out, and I was able to actually add that USB 3.0 bracket. I forgot about it, and after I had it assembled, I was about to do this video, I actually pulled it out, a couple of screws took it out, mounted it in there, and cabled it up. So the flexibility of being able to slide that tray out really is a big plus. And as I mentioned, also the radiator space rads that you can put on either side, up to 3x120 or even 2x140 on either side of there is really nice. And the fact that they're already perforated, you don't have to add any kind of fan grills on the one side of your radiator, because the bench is designed with basically a fan grill already on each side. So that's really nice. Now, I talked about the size. What comes with that is that since this is steel, and when you add a kit on it, that's pretty heavy. So it's not something that I plan to be moving around a lot. I will have it in a particular area to pretty much do all my bench testing. But if you're going to travel with it, that's again, it's the trade-off for it being a solid, sturdy steel construction. Now, you can get an aluminum version of this. Performance PC sells the aluminum version, which obviously is going to be a lot lighter. So they've already addressed that, and aluminum is very strong as well. Yeah, guys, so overall, I really like this bench. I enjoyed putting it together, and the flexibility and the space of this case is going to come in really handy. It's going to be indispensable for me. So there's quite a bit of products and pieces that I need to do some reviews on, and I'll be testing. Some of those are actually on the bench right now. So if you're a tinkerer or you're a tester and you have the need to be able to pull stuff on and off your rig and check it out or reconfigure it like I do, obviously this is an excellent product for you to be able to do that on. Or if you're just into showing off your rig, what a better way to do it than just having it all out there set up on a bench top like this. So again, highly recommend it. Go get yourself one if it's something that you'll be able to use. So again, I'd like to thank Performance PCs and Phobya for sponsoring this test bench. And if you like it, please like and favorite. And if you're so inclined, please subscribe. That's it from Ronsanut. Thanks for watching.